Hello class, this next tutorial is going to work through exercise 5-114, which says each exercise is presented on a 10 by 10 millimeter grid, so you'll have to do some measuring and math to maybe write some dimensions into your book that you can then use to create the drawing. And back on page 2 pages, 3 pages prior, it says redraw the given views and draw the third view. So we're given the front view and the top view. We need to draw those two as well as the right view. And it also says prepare a three-dimensional sketch of the object, which should be done isometrically. So this is all in metric. So we're going to template ACAD ISO. And once that comes up, turn off my grid and we're good to go. So I'll start with the front view, and we're going to do this just with the line command, I believe. So we'll go straight left 50, straight down 45, 55, 60. Zoom in on that guy. Straight to the right 40, 50, 60, 75, 85, 95, 105, 110 if I've done my math right. Straight up 20. We're going to the left. I don't remember how much I said, so I'm going to come back down from the top. This will be about 30. I'm sorry. I hit Control Z and it undid that last command. It's going to be 40. And then straight to the right, I can hit C. Enter to close it, which is not letting me close it, so I'm just going to click, I guess because I started a new line. So that's kind of our outline of the shape here, and you've got to be careful. It's a little bit confusing with hidden lines and center lines and whatnot. What we're viewing here is actually appears to be a sectional view, but it's not, because our shape is not symmetrical. So we've got to be kind of careful as we're interpreting this front view. So I'm going to simply come down 10, come over to the left 30, come down 30, and then come back. So that looks right, and I believe that's all of our solid lines. Now the rest that we have to add are hidden lines, so I'll draw them and then change the line type later. So this is going to go over 20, so I can offset 20 for that line. And this line here looks like we come down 15 and then down another 20. So I'm going to offset 15 and then I'm going to offset again 20 for that guy, which looks right, and trim away what's extra. Now over here we'll do offset again. I've got 15 and then offset again 20. And then offset again 15, and then offset again 20. So I think that's all of our lines. Now those are through holes that are hidden, and this is a through hole that's hidden, and this up here is the inner edge of a half through hole. So as I did before, I'm going to Properties, Line Type, and I don't have hidden. Now if you're in that boat, don't panic. If you type, what do you type? Line type? Type in line type. See, I didn't remember and it happened to be right. We can click load, and AutoCAD has a whole library of line types, so I'm just going to go down to hidden and hidden 2, and we're going to need center line maybe eventually too. Center and center 2. The 2 just means it's half the size or half the scale of the 1. Now that I have them in there, I hit OK. I can pick all of these through holes, go back to my line type and properties, and make them hidden 2. There we go. And like I told you before, definitely no hard rule here, but just to have it here, yellow for the hidden things. Now the center lines just represent that we have a through bore, so I'm going to do a line and then a line. Actually, I don't know why I did that. Let's do a line off in space that's a little bit longer, Now we can M for move that line from midpoint to midpoint, and that becomes our center line. So I can go in here and make it, maybe I'll make that center line red, make it center 2. Now I can copy it from maybe that base point to that base point, since those are the same diameter holes. And we have our 2 center lines. We also need a center line up here. So I can do a mirror, I think. Maybe from this corner to that corner is a 45-degree angle. Yeah, it gets it up there. Make a line. This is just a construction line. So I can move this guy down to midpoint and erase the construction line. So there I have what I believe to be an accurate front view. Now time to recreate the top view. For this I'm going to probably make 2 rectangles. Actually, I'm not going to bother with that because we have this to go off of. We'll just draw a line and then copy it from our major points to start with. As you see here. And now the thickness overall appears to be 50. Yeah, that's about right. Now I can trim away these extra guys. That was TR enter and then I left drag to clear it out. Now we have a bump out that goes up 15 and over 50 by my math. So up 15, over 50, and then back down. It's kind of this bump out here. A few other things we'll add. First of all, we've got this circle with a radius of 25. We could do a circle and trim, or we could simply do fillet, radius, which is R, enter, 25, enter, and I can radius off those corners is probably easier. Now here we have an inverted circle with a radius which appears to be 20, and that's centered on the object. So I'll just do a circle from there. R enter for radius, make it a radius of 20, which looks right. TR enter, trim off those 2 portions. We need our through bores. Circle again from the center point of this half circle. Even though it's this half circle, AutoCAD finds it, and that's a radius of 10. And then that same through hole shares the center point of that radius. So we have our 2 circles. We've got some hidden lines now that we can draw in. Actually, this one here is a partial hidden line, so I'm going to introduce a new command which is called break. Select your line you want to break and then select the break point, and it breaks one line into 2. Then I can do EX for extend, enter, and extend that guy back. This is going to be offset, so it looks like about 20, like so, and that should be a fillet. Oops, I just hit, if you hit F enter, it's going to be finish, which is a material browser, which we don't want. It might crash your computer, so don't hit F enter like I did. Should be typing in the full command fillet. Come back. There it goes. R enter for radius, make the radius 0. A fillet of 0 just squares it off. So there we have the back side, and then we need lines for this through bore in the back, which will look something like this. And then I'm going to trim with enter once, pick my fencing lines, and I can trim away what's extra. So all of that should be hidden. And if you don't want to go back into properties, you can do MA, which is match prop. Pick on a line that's already right, and then whatever you click or drag on, you can convert that to hidden line as well. So those all are hidden, and I need hidden lines. No, I don't. I just need center lines now for these other 2 circles. Now to get those center lines, I don't remember the command, but you can go to annotate, and right here's the center mark symbol. So I could have typed in dim center was the command, but hit enter to repeat it. And there you got your center marks, and I'm going to make them the same. Do a match property so they're the same as the other. Okay, so do a quick check, look at your book, and make sure that you've copied all of the line work exactly as it appears, which it looks like we have. And our last item is going to be right view. And I will tell you that given what we see, there's two ways you could interpret what this backside looks like, because we don't have enough information, so we'll do our best to make an accurate representation. So shift at 20 at an angle of 45. Oh, we're in millimeters, sorry. Shift at 200 at an angle of 45. Still not quite long enough. If that happened, you can copy that line again from end to end to get it out there. All right, now you know the drill, and we've got to do construction lines. So we'll do lines out from this known object. We'll start with our major lines and come back later with our holes. Pick a point where you want it to begin. Actually, we shouldn't do it that way. We've got a top view, so we've got to use that point. So we'll copy construction lines over from this object, start with our major lines, and then we'll come back with our minor lines. If you put too many on the page at once, it gets really confusing. So just start with your major lines, copy them in there, and then we're going to trim away what's extra, like so. We can get rid of these lines now. So looking just at our shape, we have to make a decision, and it appears to me like this top block, since I can see a hidden line, it appears like it's hanging over. So I think we should look kind of like that. Here, I'm going to remove that for now and that for now. So we'll start with what looks like that, and then we're going to add to it. So we have, bear with me here, we have a circle, and that circle, oops, I forgot a center line. Let's copy that center line up there so I've got something to go from. That circle, we can get the orientation by chasing that circle over to our projection line like so. So that's the center of that circle. It's also the center of this circle. So really what I can do is I can just copy these. We'll cheat. We'll copy those straight over, because that's what we're going to see. It's a center bore through that same plate for these two holes. That hole, it's the same diameter as this guy, so why draw it twice, right? CO to copy, drop it in there. So we've got that hole, and you're watching my thought process as we approach this. Now here we have two hard lines that define this upper, oops, I don't know what I just did, that define this upper shape. So actually I'll move this one over instead of drawing fresh. And if you get the wrong pick point, just pick it again, move it a second time. No harm in doing it twice. Copy that up to that point, and then draw those lines down. You got to click to finish, and then spacebar again for the next command. Alright, that's more like it. Now trim, I'm going to trim and then hit enter. Pick those two, hit enter, and then drag or click outside of the line work to get rid of it. So as I look at this, I believe that's what the front looks like. Something's going on weird here though, that I can't quite put my finger on it. There's an object behind here is why we have this solid line. So technically I believe that should look like that to represent the backside, which would marry up with what we have here. So I believe that's about right, other than that's all one face. So we see the bottom portion, and then that right piece comes up and around. I believe that's correct, and everything is accounted for. There's no other hidden lines to add, so I'm going to erase my projections and delete any other stray lines that may exist. And then I'm going to go into my layout, set our scale, Most of these are fitting on 1:1. This is not, so we'll have to do 1:2, which is half scale. Double click outside, lock it down, M text, Control U, top view. And here we'll do front view. CO to copy, click, spacebar, click, drag it over, spacebar to end it, double click, right view. Alright, so we still have to put this guy into isometric, but I'm going to stop the video here and we'll start another video to do the second half. So I'll call this EX5-114A, because we'll do a second part to this. So catch the next video for the isometric.